Okay, so let's talk about a really clever vaccine strategy. Imagine you want to train your body's security team to catch a criminal. Instead of bringing in the actual criminal, you just show them a most wanted poster. That's kind of the whole idea behind subunit vaccines. It's a fascinating, smarter way to prep our immune system, so let's dive in.
Right, so here's the big question, the one that started it all. How can you possibly prepare your body to fight off a dangerous germ, but with pretty much zero chance of that prep work actually making you sick? This is the exact problem subunit vaccines were born to solve.
And the answer, well, it's all about thinking smaller. The strategy is to move beyond using the entire germ. See, instead of introducing a whole pathogen, even a weakened one, scientists thought, hey, what if we just focus on one tiny identifying piece of it?
Now, don't get me wrong. Traditional vaccines are amazing, right? But a lot of them work by showing our immune system the entire pathogen. It might be a weakened, live version, or a completely killed one. And while the risk is super low, you're still kind of dealing with the whole organism. That's what got scientists wondering, could we make this even safer?
And that brings us right back to that most wanted poster idea. Think about it. Instead of dragging the whole bad guy into the station for everyone to see, what if you just passed around a really good sketch? Just a single key feature that everyone can recognize. That is the simple, brilliant concept behind subunit vaccines.
So here's the bottom line. A subunit vaccine only contains a piece of the germ. This piece is called an antigen. It's usually a specific protein or maybe a sugar molecule that sits on the germ's surface. And here's the key part. It is completely harmless. It can't copy itself, it can't make you sick, but it is the perfect clue to teach our immune system exactly what to hunt for.
And you know what? This tech is probably more familiar than you think. Ever had a hepatitis B shot? Or the HPV vaccine, Gardasil? How about the Novavax COVID-19 vaccine? If you've had any of those, then you've actually experienced this super-targeted subunit approach firsthand.
But, of course, there's a catch. There's always a catch, right? By making the vaccine so pure, so safe, by using just one little piece, you accidentally create a brand new problem. The message you're sending to the immune system, well, it can be a little too quiet.
You see, because these little purified proteins don't multiply and spread like a real virus would, they just don't set off the same alarm bells. Our immune system, our body's security force, might just glance at this quiet little signal and totally miss it. It doesn't have those loud danger signals of a real infection. In the science world, they call this lower immunogenicity.
So what do? How do you make sure your immune system absolutely pays attention? Simple. You give that quiet message a megaphone. And in the vaccine world, that megaphone has a special name, the adjuvant.
This analogy is just perfect. The antigen, that little piece of the germ, is the speaker. It's delivering the critical message. But without help, it's just too quiet. The adjuvant is the megaphone. It cranks up the volume, amplifying that signal so our immune system hears it loud and clear and knows it needs to mount a serious defense.
So officially, an adjuvant is a substance that gets mixed into the vaccine specifically to kick the immune response into high gear. It basically creates a little bit of local inflammation that shouts, hey, over here, pay attention to this thing. It makes sure that super important purified antigen doesn't just get ignored.
All right, so let's walk through the game plan. How does this power couple, the specific antigen and its trusty adjuvant megaphone, work together to build up that long-lasting immunity we're after?
Think of it like a chain of command. First, you get the shot. Then, special immune cells, let's call them the scouts, they rush in and gobble up the antigen. These scouts then show off that piece on their surface, kind of like waving a captured flag. This flag gets the attention of the generals, which are the T cells. The generals then give the order to the soldiers, your B cells, to start churning out antibodies. These are like the guided missiles that will take out the real pathogen later. And finally, the whole system creates veterans, memory cells, so it remembers the enemy and is ready for any future invasion.
So, when all is said and done, what's the final scorecard look like? Because like any piece of tech, subunit vaccines have their own very clear pros and cons. It's all about trade-offs in this game of safety and precision.
Okay, the advantages are huge. We're talking an incredibly high safety profile, no live bits means no risk of infection, which makes these vaccines a fantastic option for people with weaker immune systems. But the trade-offs are directly linked to those pros. Because they're so clean, they're less alarming to the immune system, which is exactly why they need those adjuvants. They're also really good at making antibodies, but not as great at firing up the killer T cells you need to take out cells that are already infected. And that weakness is often why you need booster shots to keep your immunity strong over the long haul. And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question for the future, doesn't it? As we design the next generation of vaccines, what's the perfect balance? Do we aim for the absolute maximum safety that a subunit vaccine can give us? Or do we want a broader, more powerful immune response that might come with a different set of trade-offs? Finding that perfect sweet spot, well, that's the challenge that's going to define how we protect ourselves for years to come.